Hi, this is Gina Dang, and you're listening to the Awaken Nation with Brett Zollins.
A huge shift is taking place on planet Earth. People seem to be waking up. Tired of the way things used to be, they are creating something brand new and changing the world we live in. My name is Brad Zollis, and I get to sit down with the next generation of idea makers, the disruptors, and the game changers. Everyday people, just like you and me, from all over, who are doing amazing things to Awakened Nation.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I have a great guest on today. Her name is Gina Dang, and she's coming to us from Australia, the land down under. My accent is horrible, but hi, Gina. Welcome to Awakened Nation.
Hi, Brad. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. We're going to be talking about how Gina created Gina's Table, and some of these products are just delicious. I've tried some of them, but it's the classic immigrant story, coming to another country, building your business, and becoming, a philanthropist, giving back to life. And I'm just truly excited to really have you on the show today because, my family's immigrants as well, if you haven't noticed my last name. But I'm excited to talk to you today.
That's awesome. Very excited to be here and looking forward to this conversation.
Good, good. I want to talk to everybody who's listening. Gina Dang is the founder and CEO of the new brand called Gina's Table and general manager at the, how do you say it? SSS Strawberries or just Strawberries?
I like that, but yeah, we call triple S strawberries.
Triple S Strawberries. I love that. It's a family farm and is a family driven, food loving, future oriented entrepreneur. Gina's journey began with her family emigrating from Vietnam to Australia in 2001 in a small boat. Gina, her parents, Dang and Gem Nguyen, and her brothers and sisters, along with her six siblings, she co founded Triple S Strawberries, one of Australia's largest and most innovative strawberry farms, with over 300 acres of land and 350 employees. Their hard work and dedication paid off when they won the International Company of the Year recognition in 2022 in London and the Distinguished Australian Family Business Award in 2023. I am honored to have Gina Dang here on today's show. Thank you. Look at that
That is
smile.
such an incredible introduction. Thank you.
Well, let's get started. Do you remember? I mean, how old were you when you came over in a boat? You're huddled in this little boat and you crossed from Vietnam to Australia. How was that?
Uh, it's incredible. We to remember back when we left Vietnam when I was 7 years old, and so I'm being the third child in the family, and all my other four younger sisters and brothers. Actually three. We had one that popped up during at the refugee camp,
Uh-huh.
and we were at the refugee camp for 4 years before we actually get to migrate to Australia.
Wow. Uh, I hear this a lot from the Vietnamese. My fiance has the same story, leaving, being born in 75 and leaving Vietnam in 1980, coming to the United States, living in refugee camps, not knowing if you're where you're going to be or if you're going to survive. Was that scary at the time? And, when you're seven, it's hard to understand sometimes, but you weren't eating three times a day. You guys had to really struggle. Were you scared?
There are a lot of moments of scare, but being 7 years old, and I have a lot of fun as well because we also meet other friends, other people, other families, other kids at the refugee camp. So there were many, many scary moments where I remember, like when our parents were involved into issues such as they are very entrepreneurial.
Mhm.
They create businesses at the refugee camp, and like one of the occasion was that build an underground wine. Um, to make wine and sell for people within the camp, and that was caught, and he got he was jailed and got tortures. And I remember very clear how bad it was when they was really really um yeah. So yeah, we can remember a moment where he got hang upside down and been
Oh,
smacked with sticks and that. So there's a lot of moments that are really tough that still
yeah.
remember.
A lot of people think, you're just hanging out in a camp. They don't realize it can be rough. It's not an easy journey. So when you arrived in Australia, what happened? Did you have family members or did you have to go into the system? What happened?
We were very blessed to when we arrived in Australia, we were sponsored by an Australian elderly family. And then when we arrived in Australia, the whole family were very well looked after. Um, yeah, so we how blessed it was. I remember when we got out and we got picked up in a car, we was like, wow, actually, can we get into that thing? What is that moving thing? And and we got in the car, we were pop our head through the window and screaming, oh my God, we was like, where are we? And when we get to a house, it was incredible bread. I could not forget. Went into a house where they opened and they said, this is where we live. Wow, we live in a house. It is like it has a living room, it has a TV. We have our bed, we're jumping on bed. It was like this is something we never had. We didn't have that at the refugee camp nor when we were in Vietnam. The bouncy cushion bed.
Yeah. First thing kids do is play. It's like jumping up and down.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So they took you in, and then after that, did your mom and dad get jobs? How did it work out for you?
Yeah. It was really nice moment when we arrived. Um, and then it began to new life start where we all don't speak English. My parents didn't get to do or know much, and blessingly that the family has introduced us to a religion and Vietnamese community. Then they get to know friends that introduce them to farm work. And the first farm work they had started their job with strawberry farm.
Wow.
They work on, yeah. So then they started working on the strawberry farm. It was really good. They liked it. However, it was really tough because my parents, they are really entrepreneurial. They really work hard. Whatever they do, they put best efforts into it. The farmer likes them very quickly and promoted them to supervising. And that's where there was a lot of issue begin when all the co-workers has been there so many years and suddenly got supervised or got checked up by the new people arrival.
Yeah.
So mum was really struggle at workplace, but she went through every day. And what's sad about it is knowing that every day mum come home very quiet and to see that she was like crying many times, to see that they dad trying to comfort her and going through many days like that. Um, come to a time where they save up a bit and they get to know some friends that willing to have a land, just a small 5 acres land that would lease them to them. And dad was taking a chance of having our own farm. And so the purpose was just so mom can work on her own farm and helping mom plus some other workers that's a bit more older who also got bullied. That was when we started.
Wow. I find these stories fascinating simply because, my grandparents, the Hungarian side, they came over in the 1920s into America because they wanted to escape communism. And when they got here, they met in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is hilarious that they didn't know each other in Hungary, but they met over here. And what happened is that it's the entrepreneurial journey, because I see a lot of immigrants who they choose to start businesses and make those businesses thrive. I'm not surprised that your dad took the leap to create the farm and build it. I'm proud of you guys, because it's not easy, and you get picked on because you're not part of the culture yet. Now I think you are. You are Australian now. But when you first arrive, it's a tough going. I get it. So
It
what?
were,
Say that again.
it were, yes, yeah. Actually, my parents are quite lucky because they do have a very likable personality to as a group of people as well. So
Yeah, I can see that in you as well. You picked that up from mom and dad, so that's good.
thank you.
So I the best thing I can say, and I know this probably was scary, but it's that moment where you go from the small farm, you got your 5 acres, to growing into a big brand. How many years did that take? When did you finally step up and say, "Hey, I can turn this into something bigger and get the 350 acres"? How did that happen?
Um, so it's a crazy journey. To let you know that all my siblings, none of us want to be farmer. We do not want to be part of the farm.
That sounds
We
familiar. Every child does that. I don't want the family business.
particularly farm. It was so hard. I can see mom and dad work so hard. We work with mom and dad straight after school. Come home, put our bags down, go into either in the field picking or packing all day, all night, during the weekends and in the afternoon, every evening, and even stay while we in on the farm. So it was tough, and seeing mom and dad works really hard. So we study hard. We don't want to be on the farm. So when our intention was just mom and dad do the best that they can do, we all gonna get the job and the things that we wanted to be. I myself study and graduated law, commercial law. I want to be a lawyer. And all our siblings graduated in a degree that we all want to be following our dream. We were young and we were in the community at the time that all become teenagers. It was and some of us are real teenagers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Being part of the real teenagers, that our parents are really scared, and we got ourselves in a lot of troubles, minor trouble as teenagers does. And but my parents are really concerned, particularly the boys.
Yeah.
And so at the time, we were kind of struggle within the family and the business itself as well. For mom and dad, they don't make money, but instead they do a lot of debt owing. But they make the money at the end of the season, and they recover, and they borrow, and they recover. It seemed like it's just a cycle of making money to repay debt, and that's
Right.
it. Um, I come to a stage because of the family matters and the kids are growing. Mums are really concerned. We wanted to make a change. And finding when I was having a case study with my older brother as well, we were investigating the strawberry is such a challenging business for mom and dad. We started the business the season when the price is really low. But then we realized that once when we studied that Australia is a very small country, but it's so big.
Right.
Where we were is in the western state side of the country, and everything happened on the eastern state. We are 2 hours or 3 hours behind the other states, and everything we need we delay our to be sent over to us, um, which is days and weeks behind. So when we first time ever got out of the western state and we traveled to the eastern state, and I was eye-opening. Is the populations was bigger, the community was the farming industry was much bigger.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and so when that allowed us to investigate and study, I was fascinated with how strawberry growing in the eastern state, where every farms are quite bigger, like 100 acres. It's quite normal.
Right.
Um, um, but in Western state, with 5 acres, 10 acres, that's it. And that's where I investigated the eastern state, Queensland, where we at now. We love the weather. We love everything about it. For strawberry seasons, it's good to start early, get to have a good price. The soil was good, so we then thinking moving our family to a place where we can grow the business. Mom and dad can continue their business, but it's also probably an opportunity to unite the family
Yeah.
and change in the change of environment. So Brad is funny. So we did make a decision to move, and we told our friends where we moved to, and they were crazily told us how crazy we were to go across the country. And we moved across the country. We didn't move to the city. We were in the city area, but we moved 5 hours north of the city, so it's a very country regional
Right.
area. At the time, they said that you are moving to a woof woof area.
A woof woof area.
Woof area? You're crazy, family crazy. But our decisions was family first, and we believe our study was correct. The place, the region, everything works with strawberries for mom and dad, and we did. And in our first year, we believe everyone's were correct and we were wrong, because nothing worked. We moved the whole family over. We would all our save up, and we had our own property. We had an investment property. In the first year, we sold it. We brought everything we could to the new regional area where we are now in Bundaberg, and we lost everything. Everything we put in the ground, it didn't work. The ground is different to where the ground we were at, and when we grow a crop and then it become no money.
Wow.
So we lost everything we have. We then become the whole family with 11 people. We're living in a 3-bedroom homes. We're back to the refugee camp.
Yeah. Yeah. You better love each other if you're going to live on top of each other.
Yeah. All of us siblings, we cry. We what did we put ourselves into? And so we come to a stage where we all wanted to set ourselves ready for bankruptcy, and because we don't know anything better, we know that if we owe people money and we don't pay, they will put us into bankruptcy.
Right.
Yeah, so we were so scared. I was so scared to hear my phone ring. I was so scared to be able to someone that's saying, "Oh, looking for you, Gina." I was very scared.
Right.
We had piles and piles of unopened mails at the time, but come to a stage where we come to a meeting. There's one meeting that we had together at our dinner table, and we all decided that if people come to us and put us into bankruptcy, what we do, we don't know what we know today, but we know that what that will damage our name for the rest of our life. We would never be able to do any business. We're never gonna get a job. We can't do anything if our name is
Okay.
damaged. So we fight over of who taking the responsibility. Uh,
Wow.
all of us had a fight over. I feel quite responsible, but so like my brothers and sister, we all feel like we are responsible for this. So we fight over. Come to stage where mum was like, it's such a heated, intense moment, and mum was like coming to us with this chopstick and like told us that, look, this chopstick very easy to break, and she'd break it like this. But when you put a bundle together, it's much harder to break. It's the time where we need to be working together. And
Yeah.
that moment there, Brad, has actually was a moment that we said it's our life turnaround. We start to focus, we start to develop the new brand, the brand, the Triple S. That's where it's for representing 7 successful siblings.
Wow. I love that story. That's rough. But every great entrepreneurial story goes like this. There's the moment, that key moment where the business could either fail or you could just throw yourself back into it. And you threw yourselves back into it. And what I admire the most is you are family oriented. Your family was right there to support each other. And who better to have as business partners than good family members who care? So this is phenomenal. So let's continue. I want to hear, the following year and the years after that, you started to realize, you could make strawberries grow in the soil. Am I correct?
Yeah, so we have no option to go back, and so we planted because it's not working with strawberry in our first year. So we planted watermelon, eggplant, zucchini, pumpkin, literally cherry tomato, big tomato, anything we could think of that's grow in this region. We
And
tried,
and can sell, and you can sell at market. Yes.
and you know where our market was is that we took every corner of the rows in the we set up a table on just the side road with a van. We had a van back then. We had one van, so we just set a table there and put out whatever we produce out there for sale. And so, like, I'm in one corner and down this end, and my brother's sister. We all take a different corner within
Did you pretend not to
there, and
know
that
each
was our
other?
market.
Did you pretend not to know each other?
Yeah, we compete. Who sell more?
It's like, I don't know that guy. I have no idea. Well, she sells
No, no,
watermelons. I
no.
sell. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny. Keep going. I love this.
Yeah, so that's where we began in the early days when we that's our market, and then we went. It's a miracle when you had your minds and everything in sequence somehow. I can't explain it, but when our family mindset all together put together, things start to get better. Where we said we need to make things work, and so we start to go knock on doors with economists, with local government council, and to anybody is farm related. Anybody who
Right.
know anything about the region's soil, the region's weather condition, the crops, we knock on their doors and learn, ask them many questions and learn. We went to university, asked for professors, and that's where that's how we start, and then we get to meet people. The right people came at the time when we did that, and we met great people. We start learning and things start working great. And even a moment I told you, the people that we work with and partner with right now over 18 years is the people that we met on the side road.
Wow.
There's a there's 2 gentlemen, Italian gentlemen, drive past us and stop their car and say, asking us like, oh, we're from Victoria, Melbourne, which we're coming up here. We're looking for some farmers. Do you know any farmer? We are a farmer.
Yes.
What do you need? And they are market agent, but they are strawberry grower themselves in Victoria, and they need at the time they supply to the supermarket in Australia, largest supermarket, Woolworths, and they need to be able to continue supply that all year round. So they need another supplier or grower up in this region where they can supply the fruit all year round. And well, that's a conversation begin. What's a big problem that they have, but it's also a great problem because it's solving our problem. We have no market.
Exactly. They were looking for a market, and there you were on the side of the road.
That's right. So that's where we a cyber conversation lead on to coffee, lunch, and then lead on to a conversation that we are partner together supplying. We supplying the winter season, and they supply the summer season to the supermarkets, and that's all year round.
Wow. That's an incredible story. I love that. Um, where is well, we're going to talk about Gina's table next, but I'm looking at these. I hate to say it. I have one pack left. I got 5 packs and I ate them all. That's how good they are. The mango raspberry, and it's all apple, dehydrated apple slices. You call them happles because they're happy. They taste delicious. And there's in America they put chemicals in everything, and your stuff tastes so pure. We ate them down. My fiance's name is Tao, and she's like, "Hey, these are good." And so we just ate them right away. They didn't last 3 days. We were just munching on them all day. They're delicious.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
so let's talk about uh, Gina's table. How did you get to that? Because I know you want to help people, and you're also a philanthropist and you're giving back, but to really sit down and say, you know what, I want to feed the world, kind of, that takes a much bigger vision. And I want to talk about that with you.
Yeah. Uh, we actually, I didn't mention to you before, Mom and Dad started the strawberry farm, 5 acre strawberry farm in Western Australia. They, after work, what they did is they didn't want to see so much strawberry that gone waste. They're beautiful strawberry, but they're unmarketable because they oversized, undersized,
Right.
or just overripe. And so what they did is bring home all us little kids, sit and cut off and put in a takeaway container, put the fork on, and early in the morning deliver to grocery shop as a fruit salad.
Right.
And that's one of the things we did back in the day. To us, as the farm growing, this issues has gone bigger and bigger um, for us. And I love the idea of working, how can we sustain reduce waste and how we work with sustainability within our business. um we are very circular economy in
Hmm.
our business. Every part of the business we very well thought of, every way how we can improve every day. And this one here, this amount of fruit waste that we have is it's not just us, but many other farmers. It's the same. We have the market standard in Australia is very high, and which
Right.
is very good. That's maintained the quality. But it's also main farmers have a lot of fruits that are so yummy, so tasty that is not able to sell. So for me, I did a lot of research on how can we utilize these fruits. We donated a lot of these fruit. We donated to all the local charity to that actually kitchen use that make jams or salads, whatever they could. We also sell for jam making to the local community. We donated to cattle farms. I told you what, cattle farmers say the strawberries are so smells so good that the cattle raised to him when he came in for early season.
Wow.
But then during mixed season where we had a lot of fruit, he came to me and I said, Gina, we had enough. I said, what do you mean enough? He said, look, they were racing after me, and right now, when they saw my truck come in, they ran away.
They're stuffed. They've had
They
enough.
had enough. So it gave me a lot of options, looking at puree, looking at jam, looking at many things. And then when I came to interact with freeze dry, I was in love with it. It's a concept where the the fruits are snap frozen at its best, and
Right.
it's retain its nutritions and its integrity of the fruit. The freeze dry, it become a very nice, crunchy, airy, delicious without anything added. 100% the
Right.
fruit itself. And that's where I started the investigation further and further, and yeah, 6 years later, we here we are, Gina's table.
I love this because it is people are. I don't think people realize how much food gets thrown out. And food that's edible but may not meet market standards, certain standards. So, what do you do with it? In America, you're not allowed to resell food at a restaurant. Leftover food is not allowed to be resold.
Oh,
So they dump it in the trash. And so, in other countries like France, those leftover foods can get resold to shelters and places like that for the homeless. So they're doing a much better job at helping people who might not be able to afford to feed their kids. But here in the US, everything has to either go through the government or there's a regulation or something. And so what winds up happening here is either the kids and these families are eating bad food, like horrible, combinations, Doritos and soda. That's what they wind up eating for breakfast sometimes. When in reality, you can feed people if we just change the laws a little bit here in the US. In the US, our biggest problem right now is we have organic foods that are regular everyday foods like I grew up in a farming community in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. And so when you bought milk, it was one or two steps away from the dairy farmer. It wasn't that far removed. And if you bought fresh vegetables, usually they still had dirt on them because he pulled them out the day before out of the ground. But now we have organic farming that's been dramatically separated from these chemical infused products that we call food, but we manufacture food in the United States. We don't grow it anymore. We sort of have this divide that's taking place between the, chemical additives, GMOs, microwave food, things like that. Is that happening in Australia, or is Australia still pretty much a natural farming country?
I think the farm industry in Australia is still a lot more into the natural. We very, very restricted to the number of chemicals we can use on any crops. Uh, I did great research back in the day, as you know earlier. Um, yeah, so it's still very close to organics. We grow, like, we use a concept within our farm, not organic, but it is kind of organic because we don't spray chemical for pets, for example, but we use what we call bed bug, a good bug eat bad bugs. So we
Right.
put a bugs in there that will not eat strawberry, but in some eating the other bugs as it's coming up.
Yeah, right. Well, that's how we used to do farming here in America. You go back 100, 200, even 300 years ago. If let's say you grew corn, you didn't want certain animals to come and eat that corn. So you'd plant another crop like eucalyptus that put out this smell and it would push any bug away that wanted to come at you. And then there were other bugs or snakes that wanted to eat some of this. So they would put a vine at the base of these things. So they were using for hundreds of years, thousands of years, let's put it into reality here. before chemical companies and pesticide companies came along, they always had natural means in order to grow and keep away, animals and insects that would eat their crops. And we really pushed away from that in the United States starting around 1934 because they discovered that our soil wasn't so great here in the United States. They took soil samples from Massachusetts to Alaska, and they found that we didn't have a sustainable soil. And so they let the chemical companies step in. So keep Australia organic as much as you can, please. Um, so I want to talk about branding because the first thing, this is what I do marketing and branding. The first thing I notice with your products is they are really well designed. They taste incredible, but the packaging and everything is well designed. How easy was it to create a brand, or does it take a little time?
It takes a long time. We got consulting and professionals working to create a brand, and it took us, I think it was together we were saying 12, 13 months to get the brand done. And we had a crack at it because we went through hundreds and hundreds of brand names that were developed, and how much the final result voted at the end after so many process. It's called Gina's table. And
I
we
like the
were
name. I
saying that,
love it.
wow. And then we had a like, why isn't it not Trinity's table? Why is it not Victor's table? Why is it not Tim's table? Because all the seven of us were, well, instead of Gina, right? And I was like, hey, the yeah, to the to the group was like the oldest kids, like my older brother and sister. I was like, you always been called off, like you take all the responsibility. Anything wrong, mom and dad always call your name, right? And then the younger kids, I was like, you guys are all been care of. That you've been taking um all the greatest thing, everything good come to you. So I'm the middle child. It's been forgotten. So I think that's the reason why it's Gina's table. So now everyone is call my name.
They say the middle child never gets enough attention. We had a show here on in the United States called the Brady Bunch, and there was a one there was Jan Brady never got enough attention because she was Marsha always got all the attention because Marsha was pretty, and Jan was
Yeah.
she was the middle child. Nobody paid attention to her, so she would always go Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. That's all you care about. So you got your accolades, Gina. You got it. And I love that it's called Gina's Table. It's very family oriented. It's very casual. Gina is a great name. I love it. This is fantastic. So you're
In the actual reality, Gina's table actually means a lot with us within our family, and our all my siblings have agreed in this sense. We have a lot of fun about the name, but it's also the final decision to confirm and agree with the professionals that it is Gina's table. Was also the family decisions, like which I'm really grateful for. Is yeah, they have giving me that respect, and all the families have agreed that, yeah, Gina, you're part of the family center. You have keeping been together with the family in a way where I am grateful, and always remember that this name here is the decisions that the family had given me to be part of the family as a central representing the family is a great incredible um sorry. um Yeah, yeah. I to hear Gina's table is also giving me that gratefulness of the family that I have.
they love you and they trust you. They wouldn't put you in that position if they didn't. I love it. I just love your whole brand, everything. When they sent me over the kit uh, from Blaine, the Blaine group, they sent over everything and mailed me this package. I was very excited because I like unusual products. I also like the rags to riches story. of how your family came over from Vietnam and just you did it. You lived the big dream that everybody dreams of having. And I thank you for being on Awakened Nation. This is fantastic. Where do we get a hold of you? Do we go to ginastable.com? Is that the best place to get a hold of you?
Yes, you can get Gina's Table at ginastable.com. Also, be on Amazon. With the Gina's Table being a product that we're really proud of. What our hope and our goal were, our original intention were wanted to make and develop a healthy fruit snacks that allow us to all enjoy the goodness of it, but also maintain that healthy um
Lifestyle.
conscious, yeah, the greatest, all the greatness of the fruit still is there. And I have a mission as a family is that we can work together in a way where we can create a world where every meal is a celebration of sustainability. Every farmer stand tall, and every plate serve tell a story of hope for. And then that's what we really wanted to do, bring out the best of what we have. And apples, let tell you, apples is a very, it's not just a freeze-dried fruit. It's a creation of fun, of happiness, where we had, yeah, that's beautiful. As side bites, apple ready and blasted with other fruits like
Yeah.
strawberries, like mango, like raspberries. And so it's allowed the healthy eating, delicious snacks, but it's also fun. And hopefully our goal achieved by all the kids will have one pack in their lunchbox. They will eat fruits differently. And I receive lots of comments like from parents like, my child never eat apple, but these packs they've gone through quickly.
They're delicious. I got to tell you, I like the raspberry flavored one, and I also like the apple mango. That's what I'm munching on right now. So rudely on our show, but I couldn't resist
I
because
love seeing that you munching on it. That is
it's
lovely.
it's delicious. We went through 5 packs. We just ate them all. It's like they're delicious and nutritious. But
I
yeah,
still carry with them, and my our office still that's still on our table. Every time we sit around the table in our office, we still ripping the packs and eat.
that's a testament to the product you make. You may not believe this, but some of the really big brands around the world, they don't this the executives don't eat their own products. You may not know that, but they don't. And the fact that you guys do eat your product, you have it in your home, you live the lifestyle, that's a testament to the quality of the food that you are putting out into the world. And I greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. My kids also their lunchbox, and it is that their friends are. Oh, you have apples today again? And oh, you only had 2 packs. Oh, my boys always bring a few packs because he said, "Mommy, by lunchtime I lost them all. My friends saw it, they grabbed it off me."
They love it. And this brand is all over the world now. Is that correct?
We are international in a few countries, but we will be read soon all over the world. That's what is our goal.
God bless. I will enjoy seeing that. Thank you. Thank you, Gina, for being on Awakened Nation. You've been an extraordinary guest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was an amazing conversation, and thank you for bringing me back to some of the memory lane that
I know.
about our history.
Yes. Well, it's a great history, and you should be proud of it. You guys struggled to get where you're at, and you've earned it. You've earned the right to be where you are today. So, Gina Dang, I'm not going to let you go yet. I have to ask you 3 more questions. This is our lightning round here on Awakened Nation. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
My first question is, What's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory, I think, it's got to be the time where we were at the table and Mum shared with us the analogy of the chopstick.
Yeah, that is a powerful, powerful metaphor. Good. Yeah. If you're alone, you can be broken, but if you're together, you're invincible. Phenomenal.
That's it. Yeah. So I think that's the strength that we have, and we are continue living with that bundle as we are today. All of us are still not just my siblings now, but also we had in-laws and children's that all part of the triple S now.
The triple S, yes. My second question is there something you're passionate about that maybe we don't know you're passionate about?
I don't know if you know, but I'm really passionate about building strong and successful family businesses. It's still working with family business is very challenging, as probably you know, family
Yeah.
never fights, right?
Yes.
Family
Never.
never have disagreement, right?
Never. Not once.
Nah. But that's the beauty about it. We have a lot of at a table. We couldn't come up with hundreds or seven of us could be 10, 20 opinions. But at the end of it is that once we go through and we respect each other, we come to a decision that's best for all. And I find that with our family, we just continue to have this united decision making that to me I find it's really value, and I wanted to bring this across to the world, every businesses, that every family businesses to be able to support each other out, because the success that we receive, and it's the best, like you said, the best people to share the success with is family members. So my passion really is to be able to support, and maybe I don't know, in a way where our family businesses can being bringing some inspiration to other family businesses, or helping other family businesses to drive and be success as well. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I definitely know what you mean. I love it. My third and final question is this. If you could say anything to your mother and father, whether it's a thank you or whatever, what would you want to say to them?
I would want to say to my parents that I'm really grateful for what they have done. That's just brought us here today. The decision that they had made, carrying six young little kids on a little boat across the sea back then, that decision is, I could not imagine any one of us would ever do, but they did, and we are grateful that they take that chance, that risk of their life, and for us. And
God bless you.
I forever not forget what we have today.
God bless. That's great. Your parents, you have their strength and you also have their tenacity. And I can see who in your family do you have that joy from that you have? Because you have a great smile. So is it your mom, your dad, or both?
I think both, but I think more of my mom. My dad's a bit more serious,
Yeah.
and he does talk less, and he also said that I talk too much, so I'm not very much like him in that way.
Dad says it. He's simple. That's funny. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gina Dang, for being on Awakened Nation. I really appreciate it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much, and it is a really joy conversation, Brad. Loved it. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
You bet. Hey, everybody, reach out to Gina, go to Gina's table, and yeah, get to know the brand. It's delicious. It's great for your kids and an awesome story here on Awakened Nation. Thank you again, Gina.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Hey, everybody, tune in next week. We'll have another extraordinary guest here on Awakened Nation. Until then, bye bye for now. Thank you so much for being a big part of the Awakened Nation movement. This is how you can help me and our extraordinary guests. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe and share this episode out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And let's grow this movement by word of mouth. Our success is because of you. Thank you, and see you next week.